I will tell you that as a man, as men, and you may have heard this before from your husband or significant other, that we like to be encouraged. We like to be supported. We like to be made to feel like men. We don't like to be humiliated or put down or spoken to as if we're nothing, as if we're dogs. We like to be respected. That's just our nature. We like when you encourage us and tell us what we can do. We like when you make us feel like Superman or some type of superhero or some Avenger or something. We like to be encouraged and be told what we can accomplish, not put down, not dogged, and not set aside. That's important for a man. And I will tell you that we are most vulnerable when, and in particular husbands, are most vulnerable when we're not getting that encouragement from our wives. When our wives aren't encouraging us and being supportive of us, and whether our job is lifting boxes all day or we're some high-level corporate person, we need you to encourage us and let us know and affirm us. And that's an important role of a wife to her husband, that we need that. And so many times, a lot of our wives, they get upset, they get mad, they say things they really don't mean, but that stuff sticks with us. And we all know that death and life is in the power of the tongue. And when you say certain things, man, you can't take that back. Although you may say sorry and you apologize, that stuff has a way of sticking with us. And I know many of you agree that this is true, that this happens to us. So as men, we need that support. We need to be made to feel that we're valuable and that we're important. You can't put us down and treat us any kind of way. You can't compare us to past boyfriends or even your fathers or uncles or family members, whomever. You can't compare us to other husbands or whatever the case may be. We need you to support us and encourage us, and don't put us down. And what will happen with guys, a lot of times we won't express how we feel. We won't tell you that we're hurting, but we'll tell someone else. We'll tell a coworker. We'll tell a female coworker, and you know what happens after that. And you know, the reality is there are people out here who want your marriage to fail. There are people who have no desire to see your marriage work at all. And if they see that there's a way in, there's a way to break that marriage. There's a way in some cases where there's another woman who's after your husband. If she thinks she can break that marriage by listening to him or acting like she thinks he's a big deal, that's the number one way to bring us down, to come in and create division in the home. And no one wants that. But I will tell you that, again, as a man, your encouragement is big to us, and we need that. And then we need you to trust us. Don't worry all the time, because there is a such thing as a good man. There's some horrible people out there, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some really, really bad men and some really, really bad women out there, don't get me wrong. But I think most husbands are good men. They're good husbands, and we need you to trust us and to believe us. And just because a woman may be attractive, don't be intimidated by that, because you know what? If we really love you to say it the way that we say we do, then it doesn't matter what another person looks like, because what you bring to the table is far more valuable. Not only are our wives beautiful on the outside, but our wives have a certain inner beauty that no other woman can replace. And I don't care what she has. There's nothing like a woman that loves you and that cares for you, that supports you, and beautiful all at the same time. You can't beat that. That's tremendous for us. And so, wives, encourage us, be with us, support us, make us feel like we're a big deal. We should be a big deal to you. You should never compare us to another or anything like that, whether it be an argument or whatever the case may be. And that you need to understand that for us, we kind of, like guys, we kind of have this mentality where, listen, we look at our wives and we see glory. We look at our wives and we see hope. I know with my wife, when I look at her, I see hope. When I'm having difficulty and I'm struggling, when I look at her, it makes me feel like, you know what, I can accomplish this or I can accomplish that. And when she says certain things to me, that just gets me motivated and gets me going. And she understands that. And yeah, again, as I mentioned in part 2 about, guys being probably a little bit more sexual than women and more driven by the physical aspect than women might be when it comes to sexuality. And so we do need our wives to understand that also, that you have a role to play there. You have a responsibility. You should never leave us vulnerable in that area. And you should do the best you can to provide for us. And again, a lot of guys, they think about, a woman being this way or that way or whatever. Well, have those conversations in that marriage about what your desires are. And work it out, and then figure out how can you be that to each other and give each other a shot at being everything that you need to fulfill each other's fantasy. Because, see, there's nothing like the safety of a marriage. There's nothing like the security that comes with being married. You don't have to worry about other people and all these other things. We'll get more into that in part 4. But for this particular part, I really want to drive home the message that women, wives, soon-to-be wives, we need you to support us. We need you to make us feel important. We need you to encourage us so we can get out here, because it's difficult out here. This is a difficult world that we live in, a very, very difficult world. And there is a such thing as a good man. There are very, very good men. There are very, very good husbands, millions of them all over this country, that they deserve good wives. And I know that there's nothing like the power of a woman. When I know my wife is behind me, when I know she's supporting me, man, I can walk on water, I can move mountains, I can accomplish anything when I know my wife is with me and behind me. And even, and look, God, we mess up a lot. Guys, we just screw up. Sometimes we don't think. And we may say or do the wrong things, but we need you to be patient with us, to pray for us, to support us, and really be the strong woman we know you can be. Be the woman that you signed up to be, to help that man, because he needs you, and he may not always admit it. He may not always say it, but he needs your support. He needs you behind him, encouraging him. Don't let anybody else substitute or replace your role as a strong wife or soon-to-be wife. God bless.